You're very welcome to this week's programme. And my guest is the founder of Sovereignty Ireland, Enda Donnellan. You're very welcome, Enda.
Thanks very much, Anna, and congratulations to you and Finbar for starting up this new M-Compass media channel.
Oh, thank you so much. Enda, perhaps we might begin by getting you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, well, my background is in health and well-being. So I've been working as an osteopath for nearly 20 years. And that brought me into, I suppose, being of service to a wider community and creating spiritual events. They've been aimed on a national scale. So myself and a colleague, Masha, we've been creating spiritual events like Conscious Concert and holding events like Winter Solstice and Summer Solstice throughout the year. So, I'm coming to sovereignty from a place of openness, health, and looking to see how we can create a positive solution for the country, really.
Okay, so I suppose to get down to the nuts and bolts, as it were, tell us a little bit more about sovereignty and how it came about.
Well, last year, as we know, it was a lot of upheaval and a lot of ungrounded energy and people not knowing what direction it was going in, and that can be fuel for things getting polarized and being divisive and going into extremism. So there was a lot of information coming out, a lot of concerning information. And there didn't seem to be a platform that was representing the middle way. So, I like to listen to both sides. I like to be inclusive. I also trained as an interfaith minister, and the nature of interfaith ministry is to sit between all the religions, but not be part of any, and to be inclusive and understand where people are coming from. So I like listening to everybody, and I like being inclusive in that manner. However, there didn't seem to be a platform that was inclusive and that was holding space for all these different viewpoints. So in a way, the manifesto, it's very, I've shown it to lots of different people, and there's been a lot of input from various people. And the feedback is that, often people say, well, it's kind of common sense, really, what's in there. And it's supposed to be, health is common sense. Health is supposed to be simple. And, I think we've all been looking at society for many, many years, decades, probably, centuries, and going, why isn't it like this? Why don't they do it this way? And, and this is a time when, as things start to crumble and, there is a lot of upheaval, and that we can birth a new solution. And if we don't put that solution down in a manifesto as a dream seed, then it won't be considered. So that's all it is, really. We've decided to create the dream seed of what a beautiful country would look like, and offer it, put it on the table, and and for it to be considered.
Okay, and that's a lovely idea. The dream seed of a beautiful country and what that would look like. So can we just unpack that a little bit? What would a beautiful country look like?
Well, a beautiful country would look, well, starting with, I think you being a teacher for many, many years, I think you'd understand that it all starts with education, and understanding that we need to instill responsibility and critical thinking in how we educate ourselves. So that's the foundation on which a beautiful country is made, where people are responsible and they're sovereign, they're free, and they're not coerced into doing things. So also, I think with people who have the most power, they need to be the most accountable and the most responsible. So of anybody in society, I think those people who are governing need, and I think the manifesto is geared in that way, those people who are governing need to be the most accountable for what they're doing, and they also need to be transparent. So, we've been watching corruption, it's every day, every other day in the media, it's corruption left, right and center. So it's how do we restrict the capabilities of people who are assuming power to be less and, less corrupt, essentially.
Okay, you mentioned the word health there a few minutes ago, and I suppose we're all very conscious of health because we're in the throes of a health crisis in the form of COVID-19. In a beautiful country, how do you envisage our health system running?
Well, that's a big question. I think, again, it goes back to education, because seeing people, I live in a and work from a commuter village in Slane, and a lot of people don't have time. They don't have time to look after their health. When I suggested them doing maybe 15, 20 minutes exercises, they kind of look at me as if I have two heads, and where are they going to exactly find that time to do it? But you have corporations that are bringing in these, exercises in the morning and stretches, like maybe in Japan they do this. I've heard of Toyota doing this type of, introducing this type of template. They know that when they introduce health, and some type of health practice, that it increases productivity. Now, I don't necessarily equate health to extra productivity, but the point is we don't really look at health from and how we live our lives from a holistic viewpoint. We generally look at our lives from kicking the can down the road, that we're often suppressing symptoms on many levels, not just health. And it's like we don't think of future generations, of what our actions, how they impact future generations. And we don't think of what we're eating very often and what we're doing to our bodies and our future. So what will our bodies, if I continue with these unhealthy habits, what will my body look like when I'm 60, 70 years of age? So, and it's not that, it's not just education. We are from the top down, sadly, we are being fed poison, as we know. When you go into a supermarket, most of the food there is quite poisonous, and from a health perspective, and it's been highly manipulated through food science and to deceive our taste buds, and it's got multiple ingredients and so on. So it's very, when you got a supermarket, you're supposed to be sustaining your health, and that's the way your food source is set up. That's kind of, you can understand how people go for, their health is dwindling and they're going for convenience, but it's kind of a vicious circle, because one thing feeds into the other.
Okay, so speaking then about good nutrition being central to good health, of course, good nutrition has its roots in farming. So do you have a vision for farming going forward?
Well, Ireland has potentially, I think it's 1% of our agricultural land is used to grow vegetables. So that's a lot of land, that's our agricultural land that would be viable for growing vegetables. So not, the mountainous areas and so on. So we could be the biggest producers of organic vegetables in the whole of Europe, potentially. And, that in itself, we are, we don't seem to be doing the obvious things. And, farmers are at their wits' end as well. There's educational problems there as well. So, and the agrochemicals that they put on the land, they maybe with the glyphosates being sprayed on the grains to mature them quite quickly. This is all obviously going back into the food chain. these are the things we have to stop looking at, the quantity in which we produce and start looking at the quality, because we are putting in a lot of poisons into our food in the chase of more quantity, and we do actually waste a lot of food as well. So
you've used the word quality there. So quality food, quality health, quality education. Would it be true to say that quality is what you're seeking?
Well, I was at an Irish agricultural meeting up here in Collin up the road, and Ming Flanagan was there, and he was talking a lot about money, that how the farmers were going to earn money, and all the farmers there. I was a fly on the wall really for the meeting, and I just felt compelled to ask the question at the end about health in farming, and the farmers were highlighting the fact that the public, they don't believe in them, and they're kind of they're berating them, or not really supporting the farmers, and kind of castigating them in some way. So I just felt that I needed to highlight the fact that so many diseases are on the increase. Look at cancer, the statistics of cancer and all these other diseases that are rising, be it Alzheimer's and dementia, and where are all these the chemicals that are going into our body, and the diseases that they're potentially causing. So it was met with just a silence, and a farmer came up to me, and he was a farmer, because I was with a farmer friend. We were doing a festival called Earth Fest in Slane at the time, and that's why I ended up at the meeting. And a friend of my farmer's friend came up and said that the land in Leinster is like cardboard. It's nutrient deficient. It's empty. It's like it's and it's very concerning the way the state of the soil is. It's like our gut, like our microbiome. The soil is the same. It needs to be living. It needs to be alive. And there is with the decreasing insects in the country, in the globe, the wiping out, the mono farming, which is wiping out diversity and killing off the soil. This is a major concern, and that ends up, we have to put more chemicals. I think we all know this anyway. It's kind of like we see what's happening. It's kind of, we've been kind of talking about this for years, really, haven't we?
Yes. So sovereignty, I suppose then what I'm hearing is that sovereignty is the coming together of people who share your concerns. And I think it's called sovereignty, elders and youth. Am I right in saying that you really want to marry, as it were, the wisdom of the older people in Ireland with the enthusiasm of the young people?
Yeah, and it is. There's it's about creating bridges, and the youth, and the elders have a lot to share, and the youth coming through, there's a lot of enthusiasm there, and it's with the name sovereignty, it's it can be, everybody's got different views of what sovereignty means, and it's a very big word, and we're trying to be as clear as we can about what that means in relation to bringing people together and supporting each other, having an inclusive model that honors people as humans. And if you're living on this land, you're a human, and that's all that counts. It doesn't matter where you've come from, what the color of your skin is. And it's, this is a model to bring everybody together, and we can live in a beautiful country if we choose to. And that's what it's about, bringing everybody together and creating a model of love.
It's a wonderful concept, a wonderful idea, a coming together, a gathering of people united in a desire to have a beautiful country made in love and shaped in love. So just to finish up, where do you see sovereignty going?
Well, I suppose being, I like to meditate and just sit in silence, and, that kind of gives me a feeling of just, everything is okay as it is. Humans are having the experience that is necessary for some reasons. We often don't understand why we're having the experiences we are in our lives, but, there's a bigger, greater meaning for this. So with spiritual practice, no matter what type of spiritual practice it is, I think it instills a level of trust and a level of patience. And I like to work off the level, the energy of infinite patience, and just allowing things to unfold and showing up. We can show up, but we can also not be in an antagonistic mode. We don't have to be in an angry mode. We can be in a place of love while also showing up and speaking our truth and being, conscientiously objecting to what's happening. And in that way, when we're coming from the heart, we can invite people also to come in and have the conversation. So I think it's a process. I think we're slowly getting there. It's definitely interesting, and what's happening in the country and in the globe. So it's just about allowing it all to unfold and asking ourselves each as individuals, what do I need to do today? How do I need to participate in this change? How do I need to step forward and not consent? So to what isn't true in my heart and in my gut. And I think the more people that do that, it creates more support. It creates more, I suppose, a sense of purpose. And there's this energy of learned helplessness that is evident in our society, where the constant lockdowns and people show, what can you do? There's no, you think you can change the system. There's no change in the system. It's like, it's we need to break through the learned helplessness, because I think part of this pandemic, what's occurred is people have become very hopeless, and there is increasing depression and so on, and increasing alcohol consumption. And these are all indicative of feeling hopeless and feeling, just self-medicating in whatever way they can, be it alcohol or food or Netflix, or do you know what I mean? So nothing wrong with, any of those in moderation, but it's, we're moving in a direction, I think, where we're going to break through, and we do need to have the patience and allow it to happen.
Okay, and if people want to find out more about sovereignty, how can they do so?
Well, great. Yeah, the website is sovereignty.ie. Sovereignty is a platform, a solution-based platform, and we are we are showing up as individuals, as sovereign individuals, on like places like Tara, and we're in, it's people who want to show up themselves and be part of this, part of the platform, show up and be there in their own sovereign capacity. So you can go and find information about that on the website. We are doing, we're showing up on the Hill of Tara on the 8th of August. And that will be just a gathering of people who want to look at the solutions, want to dream in a better world, in a better country. And, it's coming together. That's what's most important right now. And feeling that there is there is the support, and there is a solution platform to choose from.
Okay, well, Enda, having listened to you, I very much want to show up on Tara on Sunday the 8th of August. Is that right? Sunday the 8th of August. And I would love to meet like-minded people who, I suppose, share the dream that I share with you of creating a beautiful country for our children and our grandchildren. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be able to share my experience, strength and hope in that regard, and be part of, I suppose, planting the seeds to build a more beautiful country, and to do so in love. And it has been a huge honour chatting to you, and I want to thank you so much for joining us on Compass Media, and we look forward to working with you again in the future.
Thanks, Anna, and thanks, Finbar, for having us on. Brilliant.
I want to thank you very much for watching. Please like and share this video, and I invite you to go to our Facebook page, Compass Media, where you can subscribe and get regular updates on when we're going live. And so, to end this week's programme, a beautiful video. It was made by Roy Whelan, very acclaimed musician and composer and filmmaker. It's a video of the Solidarity Ireland Youth and Elders convergence on the Hill of Tara to mark the summer solstice on the 21st of June. Until we meet again, Bannocht de Arif Galer.